guys, welcome back to my channel.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring.
In today's video, we're going to be creating this really Christmassy, classic Christmas makeup look. So we've kept it really simple on the eyes, but made sure we have a bold statement lip as well as super bronzy, glowy skin. So if you want to see how I created this, then please keep watching. Okay, we're really zoomed in today. I'm so excited to film this video today. This is actually my first video that I'm filming for the 31 days of Christmas. So please bear with me in this video. I know this is a couple of days into already the 31 days of Christmas, but it is my first one, so if I'm a bit ropey, that is why. But I'm so excited to do this Christmas look today. We're focusing mainly completely on makeup and just how to make our skin look really clean, really fresh, really flawless, and make a classic Christmas look. So to carve out my brows, I'm going to go in with the NARS Pot Concealer. This is in the shade Vanilla 2. So I'm just going to carve out my brows with this because it's a bit more of a thicker concealer, but it still is quite flexible and quite hydrating. So I'm just going to carve my brows out with this. And we're also going to be using this today for concealer, so that's why I'm using it to carve out my brows, because if I use a different concealer to carve out my brows and a different concealer to actually do my makeup, they might not blend together and they might not merge properly. So that's why we're doing this. And then I do like to carve out the tops of my brows with a concealer as well. Even though it's going to be lighter than my foundation, I can just blend my foundation down into the concealer, but I like to have them pre-carved before I go in with foundation, just so I know exactly where to stop with my foundation. So now that they are carved out, we're now going to move on to primer. Also guys, if you're wanting to know what I use on my brows today, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. I love this. And I also used the NYX Brow Lift and Snatch Brow Pen in the shade Ash Brown. Okay, because it's Christmas, we're going to want our makeup to stay on, so we're going to use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'm just going to take 2 pumps of that on my hand and I'm going to start rubbing this into my skin. I really like the texture and the formula of this primer. I find it to be very like hydrating, but also sticky. I find sometimes that when people make hydrating primers, they make them so hydrating that your skin ends up slipping and sliding, whereas this, because it's actually meant to grip your makeup, it has the properties of gripping as well as being hydrating. So I really like this, and as you can see, my face is now ready for foundation. For foundation today, I'm going to use the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Punjab, and I'm just going to pump it onto my finger and then start spreading it evenly across my cheek, and then we're just going to blend it in with a big fat stippling brush. I really like this foundation. You guys know I use this all the time. I find it to be very lightweight but still has such good coverage, and that is what I look for in a foundation. I'm not someone who does well with thick foundation. I'm not someone who does well with foundations that aren't full coverage, so this is like my perfect formula, and a little bit of this foundation goes a very long way, I find. And if you're someone like me who deals with like really bad smile lines, just use less product around your mouth and it will stop it from sinking into your smile lines. I know as well, when I was younger actually, I used to use a pore filling primer in my smile lines, and it used to get rid of them as well. So there's another tip for you. I just haven't done that in such a long time. Now, just to make sure that this makeup is really blended, I'm going to go in with a sponge and just tap over everything just to make sure that it is all blended out, and also so it picks up any extra foundation that I just haven't needed on my skin. Okay, we're now going to go in with cream bronzer, and I'm going to go in with the Pink Honey Bronzing Face Frosting in the shade Fudge Glaze. I'm just going to take it on quite a dense brush. This is the Refi Duo brush, and I'm just going to start stamping it onto my forehead and starting to kind of blend it out with this brush as well. We will be going in with a sponge just to make sure, but I like to stamp it on with the brush first so we get the most amount of coverage out of this that we possibly can. And I like to start small with this bronzer because this bronzer has quite a lot of pigment to it, and you can build this up to as heavy or as light as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a full-blown full coverage makeup look if you don't want it to be. I just personally like that the best. I'm also, as you can see, just taking it into my crease. This just provides a base for the shadows. We're not doing anything crazy with the eyes because the statement is the red lip, but I do want a bit of colour in my crease just so that the lips don't overpower my entire face. And once again, just going in with our beauty blender just to blend it all in, take it out any excess makeup that's just not needed, and it just blends it into like all the rest of the cream products as well. Going in with concealer, I would usually go in my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. However, I'm out. For the first time in like 5 years since I bought it, it's actually run out. So I'm gonna go in with another favorite, which is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. Mine is in the shade 2.7N Coconut Flakes. So as I said earlier, we're now gonna go in with our NARS Pot Concealer. This is a lighter shade, so it's actually gonna work perfectly for me for concealer. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it on a brush just like so and start placing it exactly where I want it, which is going to be under my eyes, on my forehead, on my chin, and around like my nose area, just to brighten those places. So I start by laying it down with a brush, and then I'll blend it out with the beauty blender, just like so. As you can see, it looks a bit crazy at first, but I promise once we start blending everything in together, it'll look really, really good. And you also have to remember, guys, that makeup is like different steps. You can always go back to a step if you think you've lost it. So say I might think I've lost a bit of bronzer because of how bright this concealer is, but what I do is I just go back in my bronzer brush without any more product and add a bit more in. So everything is always fixable. Once you use less is more, you can always just build it back up. Okay, for blush, I've got two blushes that I have as options. I've got my OG Nude Sticks blush in the shade In the Nude. She is like my go-to, like super pink, almost kind of like bronzy pink. But because this is Christmas, I feel like we should be going with like a little bit more of like a brighter blush. So I think I am gonna go in with my Refi blush in the shade Malaya. I'm just gonna take it on quite a dense dual fiber brush, and I'm gonna start stamping this, starting kind of like the higher points of my cheeks, just to really build up that color and also to give my face a bit of a lift as well, because if you put it down here, it can sometimes look a bit like more plumpy. And also as well, makeup always depends on the shape of your face. Like the shape of your face really like determines where you place your makeup and stuff like that. So if you are someone who maybe isn't too sure on what makeup looks good on you, just try find someone with the same face shape as you, and you can then see what potentially will look good. Okay, my face's look is super glowy, but I do need to mattify the center of my face and underneath my eyes. So I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking Powder in the shade Pound Cake. This is my go-to at the moment. I love this. I think it creates such a blurring effect on your skin, but also as well, it doesn't feel too dry or too heavy. As well, I think I've said this every time I've used this powder. She has now brought out an unscented version, so if you are sensitive to the scent of this, she has an unscented version. But what I've done is I've just taken it on a powder puff. This is just the Trigwell powder puff, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press this underneath my eyes at first. I find my eyes crease the easiest and the most if they don't get set pretty much straight away. And as you can see, the difference between them two, one looks so much more lifted and the other one kind of just looks a bit too glowy. I am someone that suffers with like quite dry skin, and if you are someone who also suffers with quite dry skin, I would still recommend to set your makeup, because if you don't set your makeup and you leave it, no matter how dry your skin is, a lot of the time your skin is going to eat up that makeup and it's gonna crease and it's gonna look patchy, and it will eventually like start to break down no matter how dry you are, just from like natural oils and natural sweat, even though you may can like seriously have dry skin. So I just like to set everywhere in my T-zone so that I know that is fully set. And then what I'm going to do is just so underneath my contour part, I don't like to set my contour area if you've been around here for a while, just because I'll be going in with powder bronzer and powder blush anyways, but I do like to set underneath just so it doesn't transfer onto clothes and stuff like that. Okay, now that that is done, we're gonna move on to the eyes. Like I said, I'm not doing anything matte for the eyes because we're doing such a bold lip. However, I do still want a bit of something on my eyes so it's not all drawn to the lip. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with our bronzer. I'm gonna go in with my absolute fave. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Bronzer in the shade Dark. My absolute favorite. As you can see, the dome isn't even doming anymore. And I'm just gonna take it on a big fluffy brush, and where we place that cream bronzer, I'm literally gonna go straight over it with the bronzer, the powder bronzer. I'm taking it like all over my lid as well, just kind of gives like an orangey warm effect to the eyes. Like I said, we're not going to do anything major. And I'm also going to take a little bit under my eyes. Usually I don't, but like I said, we have a red lip about to happen, and I think if you don't balance out your face, it can look quite harsh. So I'm just going to run it right under my eyes till about halfway. I'm not going to bring it fully in just because I don't want it to look too harsh, and we're going to leave the eyes at that. Usually I would do like a winged liner and a red lip, but for me, I find that if I keep the eyes as simple as possible, it just makes the look really clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on some mascara. I'm going to use the Maybelline The Falsy Surreal Mascara, and we're going to keep going. Okay, mascara is on. I lately have not been wearing lashes. I just find lashes are just too uncomfortable for me, and I also want to keep this tutorial quite easy and simple for people who don't wear lashes. So I'm going to move back onto my skin now. So for my skin, I'm going to go back in the bronzer that I said we were going to use, which is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark. And where we place that cream bronzer, I'm just going to go in and tap lightly over that area with this bronzer just to set the face, and also to add back in a bit more color as to where the powder might have like gone onto it and dulled it down a bit. So I'm just pressing it really lightly, and as you can see, it's just bringing a bit more color back into my face. I'll actually use a little bit on like the tip of my nose as well. Then for blusher, I've got a few blushers. I could go in with my usual MAC Melba, but I do think I want a bit more of a glowier blush, so I actually think I'm going to go in with another MAC blush. I'm going to go back in with an OG. This is the MAC Mineralized blush in the shade Warm Soul. This will also act as like a little highlighter for me without having to use highlighter. Got gold reflex in it while also being quite pink, and as you can see, it's just brought that glow back into my face, which I want, because I feel like for Christmas everyone wants a glowy blush and skin look. Look at that. Oh, stunning. Okay, I'm now going to set my face with the L'Oreal Infallible 3-Second Set Mist. I love this setting spray. I know a lot of people don't, but I have to say I really like this. So I'm just going to cover my eyes because my mascara is still drying, and spray so all the products melt together. This just makes sure that my makeup is set and that all my products melt together and stay in place. For lips, we're going to go in with an OG. This is the MAC lip pencil in the shade Brick. It's quite a blue red, but personally for me, I need a blue red with my hair. If I go too pink, I just look a bit crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up and get this liner on, and then we'll move on to the lip product. That is the lip liner on. I'm pretty happy with that shape. I don't know how I did that so quickly. We've got a few red lips to try. So we've got 3 to try. I know the one I definitely think I'm going to pick, but first we have this Laura Mercier. This is the Rouge Essential Silky Lip Cream Lipstick in the shade Rose Rouge. As you can see, it's quite a nice red. Then we also have the matching lipstick to that lip liner, which is MAC Russian Red. Again, a nice bluey red. But then we have this is a new product to me. It is the Glossier Zoot lipstick soft touch lip cream in the shade Jet. I feel like this might be more up my alley today. I'm gonna try it, and if I don't like it, I can take it off. But okay, what I really like about this is it's super creamy, but it's matte, and the doe foot means I can get quite a sharp application as well. I'm always so scared with red lips that I'm never gonna notice it's gone out of place. Okay, there we go. So guys, that is our classic Christmas makeup look complete. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and let me know if you recreate this look. It's super easy, it's super simple, and the statement is our red lip. I really like this formula of the Glossier. I really think that it is a good one to try out if you're someone who likes the look of a matte lipstick but you don't like the feel of it. This is so comfortable, it's so creamy, and it hasn't dried out my lips. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!